Well, let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish. Yeah! Well, let's talk about fish. Goodness sakes, how are you? How's everybody? Nice to see you. Great to be with you. Good to be back one more day out of my life. And your life and our lives together. And it's a kick. We were on this morning at 3 o'clock on Discord, having a grand old time, talking about lights and food, and I don't even remember what else. Hey, Joey. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning, Fine Fish. Good morning, everyone in the show.
Yes, indeed.
How is everyone today? So you were talking about this.
Live chat. Look at that live chat right there.
You're in live chat. Well,
I had a few reminders this morning, and it's still got bollock stuff, but we managed to get it together. Okay. I don't know what the issue is. I think posting the link can be done too early, and it doesn't capture. Maybe I don't know. I really haven't got a clue. Yeah. I sit there and sweat over it until it happens, and then everything's fine. Yeah. So, whatever.
Yeah. All right.
James Henry was suggesting that he could simply post it for me, but it changes every day because it's a different stream every day.
Exactly. So
if we continue the same stream 24 hours a day permanently,
which we can't,
which we could do. I mean, we could do that. We could have the never-ending stream.
Well, I mean, I won't be on it, but you can have fun.
Well,
you have fun with that. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what Discord is. It's like a never-ending stream, and I'm not on there all that often. But when I am, I enjoy it. I have fun. It's neat, and there's some people who are on there pretty much 24/7, and it seems to be in good hands. So I don't have a problem with that at all. Yeah, absolutely. Look at all this crowd. Who's
I know. I think we should say some hellos.
Yeah, let's do it. Jeffrey Foster. Hello, Jeffrey. David Fellows is here.
Mm-hmm.
There's Hat Trick Farm and Chevy Fish. And the rest. What a crowd.
Oh, well, I see J-Dog, Fish and Tank, Broadcast Illusions, Richie.
One Dirty Flatty.
Karen.
Emilio. Dish Up.
Yeah. And James Handy, I think you already said that. Herb Diversity, Glass Box Fox.
Chris Trapp.
Paul C. Oh, Fish and Tankics, thank you for your super chat. Thank you so much. Came in before the stream started, but thank you. And TM Shepherd. I also see there's a couple more down here. I know. I'm not sure if you are Xanadu. I think you already said hi to Tisha, but hi, Tisha. And then I'm trying to get to the bottom. Are you at the bottom?
One Dirty Platy's got an interesting question.
Yep, and One Dirty Platy. I think I said Roman, Mr. B, CPDs, Shane T, Joshua Miller, World's Smallest Fish Room, Johans, Mermaids Chorus, Florida Fish Rescue, Gene Campbell.
Shane T. Hi, Shane.
Yeah. Mr. Spoon, Greg the Gippy Guy, Steph's here, Mike's Aquarium.
Mr. BCD.
I think you said Emilio, Sarge's Aquariums, Jeffrey Foster's here, Texas Fish Room. Wow, Levi's here, Chattanooga Ed. Hi, Ed.
I'm going to say, Chattanooga. Nice to see you.
Joe Merchant, Frugal Aquatics, TJ, Howard, George F. We're Dunlap, Waterculture. I think I made it to the bottom, and I hope we didn't miss anyone. I hope we didn't.
Amber.
And Amber.
Oh.
Before watching, if you guys can hit the like button coming in, that'd be awesome.
You bet.
Awesome. So, One Dirty Platy had an interesting question, and I saw that myself. Oh, you're going to get koi in the mail today, Chris? Ooh, good luck with that. Awesome.
Koi in the mail today. All right.
Yeah.
Any tips on acclimating them? Put them in the water would be my best tip for acclimating is don't leave them in the bag.
Yeah. You could if there's a big temperature difference, you could float them for a few minutes to try to get the temperature the same. But then Father Fish is right. Once you open that bag, take them right out and don't put that water in. That's my suggestion.
Yeah.
Because once you open the bag, you start other problems with the ammonia.
James is apparently trying to repair or replace a tank. 120. Oh, yeah. Well, I've got a few tips and tricks for that, but that's if you're going to do it the right way, never mind.
Thank you, James. Oh, I don't know if I said. I think I did. Hello, George. And I just call you JBV is here. Good morning. So did you want to go back to the One Dirty Platy question?
What was it? Yeah. Here it is. What do you do with your livestock if exiting the hobby? During this pandemic, wish I could stay. We'll be watching the playback. Okay, so he's kind of dropping this on our sidewalk and leaving. If you will.
Well, I mean, there is that. You could advertise, fish and tanks all in one, right?
Well, yeah, why just livestock? If you're exiting the hobby, aren't you also going to be getting rid of your equipment?
I mean, maybe you're just going to store your equipment. So I guess, there's a way to look at it, but...
Well, you try to find a friend, somebody else who's got fish.
Right.
Or you find a shop willing to take them. Or you sit down and say to yourself, what am I doing? Why am I getting rid of these fish? I love these fish. What am I doing? Am I crazy? What is it? Am I having an episode? I mean, what's really happening here? You might do that.
Well, they might just be having a moment. We all have them.
Right, but one should never act on one's moments. Yeah. I've learned.
But to answer the question, which is if you really truly do have to move your livestock,
you could eat them.
Yeah, not everybody's into that.
I mean, you could
Um,
pickle and eat them.
I mean, you could advertise it as a group sale. You could advertise certain groups. I mean, obviously, the fish store is not optimum necessarily for where you want to see your fish go. I mean, that's the last resort option if you don't have any other option. I would put the word out on a local swap kind of thing that you've got a group of fish for sale. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I've
There's
always,
fish nerds everywhere. Look at us.
yeah, it's true. I mean, there are people who would die to have fish,
And
free fish,
healthy ones.
right?
Healthy fish. That's a
Really, free and
important thing.
healthy fish.
So if you've
Can't
had them
beat
for a
that.
while, I'm sure they're
Yeah,
good.
I always look forward to people bringing fish into the shop, and I would have them come in nearly every day. I mean, every day there were people bringing fish in. Now, usually it was not that they were leaving the hobby, although sometimes if they were moving out of town and could not take them with them, although
Yeah.
I would try to help them do that.
I think
Yeah,
they just added in father fish trying to get it out the door. My point being lack of knowledge, and some new fish keepers might release into the wild more. Um,
well, good point.
I'm not going anywhere. Well, I mean, that's a fear. They could buy them from the fish store and release them into the wild. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
you can't control that. One person, we can't control it. Um,
Okay, so we're Dirty Platty. We're just playing games with us. He's 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 concerned about, and that's a legitimate concern. I mean, what? Yeah, because there are people out there, and I ran into it all the time, who were just fed up and didn't want to do it anymore.
right.
Uh, and I took their fish. I took everything though. I mean, I was a pet shop. If something came in half dead
Yeah.
sick, rotten in the bag, I'd take it. Whatever it is, I took it. Wouldn't always give them any credit for it, but I took it. Um,
Well, I guess you have to. If
you
you're
need to
if you
try to find a shop like that too, if you can. Somebody who's going to really be accommodating.
exactly. I'm just gonna say a few more hellos. I see Albert DeBoer came in. I don't know if he said
Science Gal is here. Hello, Science Gal.
here. Carrie's here. Whips World. And who else did I see coming down here? Thought I saw somebody else coming. Maybe not. There's so much chat.
Albert DeBoer. Hello, hello.
Yes. Ed's having a serious conversation. Chris, there's not a lot of chocolate in M&Ms, but they are sure tasty.
What?
Having a serious conversation this morning.
That's because they're tiny, teeny tiny. A lot of nut, and Chris is saying not a lot of meat on guppies. Well, that's true too.
That's true. Yeah, not a lot to eat there.
What you could do, yeah, we're Dunlap suggesting do a live bearer pizza. Now that would be cool.
Oh, gross!
Like
I hate
anchovies.
anchovies.
Pizza, a guppy pizza. How about an angel pizza? That would be dramatic.
Well, Father Fish, there's your next business. You can open up a pizza shop and top it with all the extra fish. I raise fish, for my pizza shop.
What was watching?
Oh, God, you can sell some lobster ice cream, and you're just.
I'll tell you what, there was a shop that went global, putting Cocoa Pops on pizza. I think Guppies would be a far more.
And then we'll have to decide if the fancy guppies taste better than the feeder ones.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Okay, so we're off on sardines. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. We went from M&Ms to fish on pizza.
Go, Chattanooga.
How it goes.
Fish on pizza.
Coolie Loach pasta. Oh, gross.
Cherry shrimp pie. Cherry shrimp pie. Oh, this is good.
Yeah, the trick will be, can you get a loach in every bite?
hungry in here.
It'd be like meatballs in your pasta. Hello, cheese. Oh my god. And I hate seafood, so I'm not coming to this restaurant. Angel cake with real angel. Chevy. Devil's food cake with red devil. See? See
Oh,
what you're everybody's mind just went crazy.
yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
I did it deliberately. I'm enjoying it. It's not a problem for me, though. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, funny.
Well, I'm
Once
80 years
you
old,
try,
so
you can eat bones and all.
I'm just doing
If
it.
you're a small fish, I know we can have like, oh, since everybody hates tiger barbs, deep fried tiger barbs.
Hey, what I'm doing though, I'm on YouTube.
So, good morning, Alan. You've
Uh,
come into
in
the
fact, we're
crazy
on right
stream
now.
again.
You can come up and say hello, or have your daughter say hello.
Well, there you go. That's what you do with your
Nobody
extra fish.
is. Again, the shop's gone. No, well,
I mean, I guess it's no different than raising any other fish for food,
in a
right?
while. Okay.
Discus omelet. Yes. And then you can deep fry a discus, make an omelet, and just put the discus on top.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get the number here.
Oh, Chevy, popcorn shrimp. This Chevy fish is on it. She's got popcorn shrimp.
Popcorn shrimp.
Popcorn
Well,
shrimp. Then she says angel food cake with real angels and devil food cake with
I have a
real
number.
red devils.
Hello.
I love it.
Yeah,
Hello, the hairy woodsman.
I don't know. What was the last name? Yeah. Okay. Yes. No. At home. Yeah. Okay. All right.
They're an Italian restaurant midtown. So deep baby child. Oh, you have an Italian restaurant that actually does that? Yeah. I mean, I'm joke around all day, but I just really don't like seafood. So I can come up with all sorts of ideas, but I'm not eating it.
Baby trout deep fried. Well, there you go.
Yep.
Who was so hungry ate the first oyster or raw clam? Uh,
Yeah, I gotta agree, James. Yeah, who thought that was a good idea? Yuck.
I don't know. I wouldn't have had a problem with it.
I can't even eat them cooked. Hello,
You
John.
grew up. You can't eat a. Oh, really? Well, yeah, and you grew up around the water, so I don't know. I don't get that.
Yeah, I grew up. I can go down and dig clams today, but I don't want to. No way. I don't want to eat them.
What's Roman talking about? This fantastic. How the fish train is. Oh yeah, he mentioned that somewhere else. Train us how the fish train us to feed them.
Oh, yeah.
Fish go off and how much a month. Oh, it's
Well, like
another.
you said, I mean, if I get near my goldfish, they're always hungry. I mean, I don't feed them every time I go near the tank, but they're hopeful. They come up like, is there a chance? She's got food.
Michael Langerman. Michael Langerman has 54,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Really? He's
Where
a
do you
big
see
talent.
Michael?
Never heard of him.
Oh, that too. Okay, yeah. Wow, I never heard of him.
He's all over it. He is
Wow.
all over it. Look at this, boys and girls.
Hey, good morning, Rob.
Overfeeding occurs when uneaten or leftovers become waste, poisoning aquariums. Well, yeah, he's nailing it. How about that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right.
Mr.
So I,
Spoon has a question for you at 9:20, Fatherfish.
I am subscribed, but I didn't have the bell rung. All right, let's go back over. Where were we here?
Well, maybe not. He just retracted that one. Okay. Mr. B says Bolivian ram spawned in a new setup, separated half.
Nice.
Try to protect them from the angels. Awesome. The fry with the parents are bigger than the others. They could be feeding on waste. of the parents. Probably for a little bit.
Let's see.
But that's awesome.
Yeah,
that
thrive
you
with
got
parents bigger.
Cool. Oh my
Keep
goodness.
the weights to the parents.
I must-
Possibly. Yeah, right. World's
And
slowest.
yeah, he went blue ram shopping. Everybody's on the ram thing this morning. But didn't
Well,
get
that's really true. I mean, if rams are not kept properly, they go down really fast, and they look bad really fast.
well, and
One,
it's good that he could see the difference, that he
yeah,
recognized
you
that
bet.
they were
You
good
bet.
shape. You know, because some people, if they were new, might not know. They just say, "Oh, give me 3 of these, 4 of those," and you know, they don't. They just look at colors and go, "Oh, I want that," you know, and they might not realize they're not in great shape. So good for you
Yeah,
for recognizing that.
dead the next day. Right.
Oh,
I
this is
know.
true. I think my autosynchronous laid eggs. Do the eggs move
I
around?
know what you might say. Hello, Ross.
I don't know. I've never. Yeah, that's my sister Roz. Hi, Roz. I don't know. I've never bred autosynchronous. Father Fish at 921. Mr. Schoone's asking a question about eggs on the leaves.
Otto's laid eggs.
Yeah.
Do the eggs move around on leaves on their own volition? The eggs don't, but the zygotes, the babies might once they hatch.
Right.
That may be what you're saying. The eggs won't move, but boy, when they hatch, they don't look any different than an egg. The tail is so tiny you can't see it,
Right.
so it would look like they're moving around. I would say they've hatched.
Well, they're gonna wiggle. Yeah. They're gonna
Exactly.
They're gonna wiggle for a while. Use up the egg before they freeze.
David, man, what do I think of the bi-orb tanks? I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Good morning, Joan. Yeah, I don't know what that is. And Sarge says, does anyone keep Oaxaca puffers? Not me.
Here we go.
But I don't know if there's anybody in the chat that has Oaxaca puffers.
Hey everybody, this is just a quick review of my baby bio-orb.
Good morning, Kim.
What is this? Baby Bio-Orb Aquarium by Malasar 92. Okay, let me show this.
Wow, Joan, it's still, or Kim, it's still snowing in Arizona. Wow.
Really? Okay, there's a baby Bio-Orb tank.
It's cute.
And here is, let's see if we can get her to talk. Say something, dear.
Aquarium.
Good morning.
A 4-gallon aquarium, acrylic. What's great about acrylic is that it's lighter, easier to clean, and it doesn't distort the images of the fish.
Acrylic, she got a little 5-minute video
online. It's
about her Bio-Orb.
$80.
Complete with rocks in the bottom and some kind of a under gravel filter system.
It is a little bit overstocked for a 4-gallon, but I'm just showing you the different fish in here.
Got 3 fish in it and thinks it's overstocked. So, well, I don't know. It's cute. You know, there are.
The only other thing
It's cute. What do you say? What can you say?
Well, like you said, it's cute. I mean, everybody can do their little nano tank any way they want. Hers, she set it up and it is cute.
Really? It's okay. I would want to do some kind of a deep substrate in it, 2 or 3 inches.
I agree with that, especially where you're trying to make it a.
Yeah, the problem with those tiny little things, and they're all designed with under gravel filtration or some other kind of crazy filter system, and they never really maintain the health of the ecosphere.
Right.
And Ken Cunningham says 2 more days of this stuff.
Wow.
And it doesn't
Crazy.
much matter what that's referring to.
He's referring to the snow.
Oh,
The snow
all right.
in Arizona. 2 more days. That's crazy.
Okay.
Hello. Good morning. Why not in Wyoming? Good to see you. Good morning, Jenny. Lynn. Yeah, a small tank like that, James, a bed on a desk, sure. Yep. I mean, I think that's...
Yeah, but again, what I would do is pull the filter out. Just get rid of it altogether. Get rid of that riser tube, and put some a little bit, like a half an inch of dirt or less, and an inch or two, an inch and a half of sand, and then plant it with live plants. Put it under some kind of a gooseneck lamp or in a window with an hour or so of direct sunlight. You'll have something that'll live for years. You put a bed in it. They're really perfect.
Yeah. All right, let me look back. I think we had a question back that David was asking. Oh, David Fellows, just got my plants turned up in a sealed bag. Can I leave them in the bag for a day as my aquarium tools are coming? Then they are, or are they better to put straight into the tank?
What is it?
Basically, he got an order of plants in a sealed bag, but he's waiting for his tools so that he can aquascape. They should be here tomorrow. So he's saying, can I leave them in the bag for 24 hours, or should I just put them into the tank?
Well, it depends how long they've been in the bag. If it's taken a week for them to get to you, then I would get them out of the bag right away and just float them in water.
Right, just get them in there.
Just float them, which is not a bad way to proceed anyway. If they've only been a day or two in the bag, you can leave them in longer. It's not really going to hurt them. The fish will hold, plants will hold up for a week comfortably. Virtually completely sealed up. They're really kind of amazing.
Right.
Dustin really blows my mind with how he ships plants. He ships them dry and flat. No air in the bag at all. Wrapped tight. Flat as a pancake. And they're in there for 3-4 days at a crack. They come out looking stringy and dead. Put them in the water and they bounce right back. It's really impressive.
Yeah. And that's true. I've had them shipped in that way too. And you're right. Once you get them into the water, they're great. Why Not in Wyoming has a question. Father fish, ghost shrimp, and pest snails both serve similar purpose for sustainability. Should you have both, or can one species do the job?
You're talking about 2 different kinds of snails?
No, talking about ghost shrimp or pest snails. Do you need both, or can one sustain your tank?
I don't think it's got anything to do with utility. I think it's got to do with aesthetics. It's a matter of what you prefer watching in your tank.
True.
Really?
I think if you like them, have both. What's it going to hurt?
Yeah, true enough.
They don't, and neither one of them hurt anything, and they're good for the tank,
Yeah, right.
That's how I feel about it, in some cases like that, the more help you have, the better,
Right.
And then there's another question. Kim Cunningham, any advice on raising Daphnia? Would like to try it for my scarlet bats.
Yeah, do it outside, number 1. Try to get green water going, number 2. And number 3, keep a fine mesh screen cover on it so you keep the mosquito larvae out because
Right.
mosquitoes eat Daphne. So you can't do. You're not going to have Daphne culture, or you're going to have mosquito culture. So you
You can
know the
feed both.
screen lid's critical. Yeah, the screen lid's screen lid's really critical to keeping Daphne going.
Right.
They prefer green water. You can feed them, but if the outdoors where it's getting direct sunlight, you'll have a better chance of keeping them. And then the other uh, clue is to set up more than one container rather than 50-gallon drums. Do them in buckets or smaller containers, and do more than one. Do 3 or 4 with starticulture each. You'll find some will do well and others won't. So you really get it nailed in as to exactly how to do them.
Yeah. Um. Well, we're done like saying pest snails are pests because they were not desired, and then, but I still think that's an opinion. I don't mind them in certain tanks. To me, they don't bother the plants. They do the same thing as some of the other snails. I've not had a problem. The tanks that I have them in, personally, I don't mind them in there. They're busy. They're not as pretty as some snails, but you get them free with plants.
Master python, for fish that need salt water to breed, how long shall they acclimate from hard pH? You know what? What are you talking about? What kind of fish? Well, let's nail this down a little bit. What kind of fish are you talking about? And while we're at it, Airwolf has been bombarding us.
Well, I was gonna say I don't really know what's going on with Airwolf
Oh,
myself.
I do.
So
He was in earlier and
okay,
was making some rather nasty comments.
okay,
And Paul just knocked him out. If
yeah,
uh, if you will leave him up for a moment and point me to it, then I will simply ban him from the
right.
chat.
But right, Father Fish can't ban somebody if somebody blocks them.
If they're timed out, I can't do it.
Somebody time, yeah.
But if he comes back up, let me know, and I'll bust his butt back to Frankenstein.
Okay. And good morning, Master Python.
Yeah, Airwell's just being a dork.
It happens. All right.
Quality rams for $14 each.
Well,
X for
there was
19. That's a
there was
going price.
there was a question about, and I lost it because everything was jumping. Somebody was asking. Let's see if I can find it quickly.
The
They were
master thing. I'm hoping he reposts.
Okay, so they were asking, and I can't find who it was, but it was something along the lines of they found some black rams for sale, and I want to say they were like $40 for the fish, and then $80 to ship them, and I think they were asking if that was fair.
I would say it's exorbitant.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, there's a pair. It's Broadcast Illusions. There's a pair of black midnight rams for sale for $80. And $40 to ship. Does anybody think that's too much for 2 fish? I guess my question would be: is it an absolute? Is it a breeding pair, or is it just 2 black rams? And that does make a difference. If it's a proven pair, he can give his opinion when he's done. My opinion on things like that is, what is it worth to you?
On
If
TV.
it's a proven pair and that is what you want, and they're healthy, and and it's exactly what you want, then my feeling is it's not too much. And $40 to ship them, You want to get them there alive. You can spend
Take
$40
it to a restaurant.
driving around to 3 or 4 fish stores on a given day, get lunch,
But
get coffee,
you
gas,
do not know
and
if
they come up empty.
was it
This
in the chair?
is you're going to get these
I'll
fish.
look and see if
Like
that's
I look
okay.
at it.
Right. I'll let you know. Okay.
Prudence here, like I said, it really comes down to me what it's worth to you.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's just two fish they're pulling out of the tank, I think that's probably excessive. But if it's a proven breeding pair, I don't think that's excessive. But that's me.
Here's the other thing about rams, though. That you're better off buying juvenile rams than buying adult rams. And the reason is you can buy them, number one, cheaper. So if you can buy a group of half-grown rams for $10 a piece and get a half a dozen of them, then as they mature, they're going to pair off and spawn. So you're more likely to get a spawn. You get an older breeding pair, they're very likely not to ever breed again. Once you break the pattern of a fish like that, they rarely will go back to it. So you can wind up spending a lot of money for a proven breeding pair that will not breed.
It's possible. It's very possible. But the other side of it is, if you're wanting the black ones, I doubt you're going to get black ones for $10. But if it's what you want, Father Fish's way is probably the more sure way. Buy a young group, and you'll hopefully get at least one pair out of it.
Yeah, this is Innes. Innes wrote the book in 1935
Right.
about how to buy fish. And that was his suggestion, that you buy a small group. Don't buy a pair. Don't buy one or two. Buy a group and buy them young so that you have a better chance of them maturing, pairing off, and getting spawn. So that's an old-timer's solution, if you will, to how to buy fish.
It's a good one, I agree with you on fish. Good morning, Evie.
Oh, Master Python. Here it is. He's back. You heard that rasboras and other fish are triggered to spawn by soft water, like in the rainy season. Soft and also cooler. Dropping the temperature can trigger that as well. So what I would do, rather than try to acclimate them, pour some RO water from the refrigerator into the tank and drop the temperature 4 or 5 degrees. You don't want to be extreme about it, but just that much may well be enough to trigger them to spawn. You want it to seem like it's the beginning of the rainy season.
Yeah. Yep.
Or with Corydoras, there are cories that live in the streams and creeks below at the foothills of the Andes Mountains. And in the spring, when the snow on the mountain is beginning to thaw, that water flows down into into the plains, into the foothills, and drops the temperature, and that's when they're triggered to spawn. It also creates more flow, which moves them down creek or downstream faster, in order then to get to warmer water, where the babies will hatch and be able to feed.
Right.
Brian wants to know a simple way to culture Daphne.
Yes. And good morning, Carlos.
The trick is feeding it. The easiest way to feed it is to try to get some green water going and keep a separate green water culture with no Daphne in it. So it gets pea green, and then feed that to the Daphne, being careful not to allow the Daphne or anything else for that matter to get into the green water. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to buy, um, uh, what's the stupid green powder called? The algae. My brain's going. Green powder algae.
Oh, spirulina.
Spirulina, right. You can feed spirulina powder to Daphne and they will be able to eat that as well. You got to be careful. It doesn't turn the water green. I mean, it does not create live culture.
Right.
So you got to be careful putting it in that you don't overdo it because you could foul the water pretty easily. But you can certainly feed that. Mr. Manifesto is suggesting feeding yeast culture. They will eat that as well. They'll eat a lot of things. If you can get green water going, that's really preferable.
Yeah.
Spirulina and yeast.
Pepper jelly, welcoming you to the show. You don't have to do anything with the wrench if you don't want to.
Who is this?
Oh, Pepper jelly says, wait, I'm a moderator. I'm very irresponsible.
How about Carlos Magana? Carlos. I just turned Carlos green.
Okay, excellent. Very nice. Very good. And so you got
Harlequin, Master Python's talking about harlequins.
Yeah.
Feed them live food and keep an eye on them. Kim Cunningham, did Daphne reproduce quickly? Yeah, in about a week, they go through a full growth cycle. They mature in about a week. They'll get old and die, but they will mature in a week.
Right.
Green water is better. Yeast can foul the water. Yeah, it's absolutely true, Jane. You got to be careful anytime you're feeding something that's not live. It's easy to foul the water, particularly if you're trying to feed a culture of something, because the tendency is to put so much in that you change the color of the water. So you don't want to do that. You want to feed sparingly. They'll get it. Just don't put a lot in. Put less in more frequently, but not more than once a day. You know, twice tops. Once a day is adequate.
Yeah.
And if you got it outdoors, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying I've never raised Daphne because I guess I just never felt I needed it. So it's like I listen to people talk about it, but I've personally never done it. You know, I got an idea how you do it.
The other thing you can do is you can put leaf mulch in the container, and that will provide food for them as well. You're not going to get as big a harvest, but it'll be healthy.
I did raise a bunch of mosquito larvae last year, but I didn't feed it out.
No, you should have. Their betters love them.
I probably should have, but I had taken some of the Nano tanks down and I put them out the back door of the garage, you know, to clean. And I didn't clean them for like 3 weeks, so they filled up with water, and I had tons of mosquito larvae there.
Right. Yeah, it's good
and I
food.
wasn't even trying, you know.
Doesn't take much. It takes sturdy water, though.
I left the gravel in.
Yeah,
so I kind of drained the tanks and put them out sort of intact, or gravel or sand or whatever, but I left the substrate in. And so they were sitting out there and they just refilled, and they were having a wonderful time.
Oh, yeah. Ryan wants to know how to set the culture up.
Yeah.
Do this, Ryan. Get some leaf mulch. And you can, if you got a creek or some body of water where you can, where you've got some like leaf mulch or other kind of mulch, put that in a container, fill it with water, and set it outside with some kind of a cloth or screen over it. The material that you get from the pond will likely have Daphne in it. And if it doesn't, it's going to have a lot of other stuff like paramecium and so forth. So it will be a way to get a nice culture going that you'll be able to feed the baby fish with little or no effort.
I can imagine we're done that. I wouldn't either. Those things, a stink bug stinks. He said the fish didn't find it in his tank, didn't bother it.
You need a green water culture, or can you just start it up? If you put a container of water that has nutrients in it, I have a friend who uses a drop of liquid fertilizer in his. He puts water out. Excuse me, in the sun, in a big carboy with a screen top on it. Puts a drop or two of liquid fertilizer in it, and lets it sit, and it will develop green water. The spores are in the air. They're just kind of going everywhere. So you want to be able to capture some of those spores, but it's kind of automatic.
Yeah.
Chevy Fish has got a
Looks like
resource for purchasing Daphne.
Yeah.
There are a lot of different kinds of Daphne too, different sizes and so forth. Vaughn would to know what the tiny black bugs are living on top of this flooding. There are a lot of different kinds of tiny bugs, tiny black bugs. There are some that are virtually microscopic, others that are like beetles. They're all different kinds. I don't know what most of them are. The little tiny ones you'll find in your fish tank sometimes, hopping around. And I forget what they're called. What are they called? Chevy will know what they're called.
Are they mites? They're not mites.
No, they're not mites.
Yeah.
They're a bug that jumps around on the water.
She'll put it in there. ADP Productions has posted this question twice about the guppies.
See, all the guppies I buy for the last 2 years are tail biters. They're all tail biters.
They're all tail biters.
Imagine that. Tail biting guppies. I don't have an answer to that one. Nothing at all comes to mind.
Yeah. Springtails.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
I think you would know.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Springtails.
Yeah, I don't know about the guppies, except that the only thing I know is as they've developed certain lines, especially the albinos and stuff, they tend to be more aggressive towards their fry, which to me means they tend to be more aggressive in general. So it might just be some of the inbreeding. I don't know. Just, carrying on certain traits. But I do know there are some that are horrible, about eating their babies. And Word Dunlap says lice. Yeah. Oh, Kim just found the link, I guess, for the Daphnia. Cool. All right.
One of the things that breeders do when they're selecting out for fish, that they will not only select out for color and pattern, but behavior. Because there's certain kinds of behavior that you really don't want in your line. And those behaviors tend to be genetic. They tend to be carried on genetically. So that would be a good factor to filter out from a string of fish, to
No,
take the nippers out.
I agree. Good morning, Teresa and Holly. Welcome. Yeah, like I'm not going to breed a horse that's a complete disaster. Chances are the foal's going to be that way. So same
Well,
principle in foal. Well, disposition. You don't. I wouldn't want to breed a dog that had a bad disposition or a horse, and I think, as you said, there's some similarities in any kind of animal. Certain personality traits you don't like. Yeah, don't breed those fish.
Kim is going on about bringing in wild stuff to the tank. Many of you know my attitude about this.
Yeah.
I tend to be rather laissez-faire about it, uh, mainly because I rarely, if ever, have had a problem bringing anything wild into my tanks from out of doors. The tanks in my fish room are a perfect example. I've got 11 tanks here. I filled every one of them with creek water straight out of the creek. And there is nothing in any of them that's the least bit problematic. I even went out, I've got 6 vats outside, which I'm going to have to do a video of. I had Chase dig out buckets full of sand from the creek and dump it into the vats. So that's my substrate. I have never had anything like a problem bringing wild stuff in. Now, there are a couple of factors that are important. Number one, I don't do it if I see any kind of disease or problem in the water. In other words, if I see that the body of water that I'm looking at has got problems, I don't deal with it. I don't take anything out of it. And by problems, I mean, for example, the plants are full of white fuzzy stuff. There's an odor coming from it. Fish swimming around have fungus on them. I mean, obvious things that demonstrate there's a problem with that body of water. If it looks clean and it's healthy and there's no odor and the fish are swimming normally and they're busy and active, and it's not discolored in some way, red or blue or whatever, I'll take it and use it. Now I may put, if I'm using a net and scooping out little tiny microscopic stuff, I might put that in a tank and observe it for a few days, just primarily to make sure I don't get dragonfly larvae, because those little buggers will eat everything in the tank. They're terrible.
Yeah.
But barring that, unless it's foul or unless it's obviously diseased, you're not going to have a problem with it. But you do have to apply common sense, and you have to observe. You have to apply observational skills. So you need to look at it. You need to pay attention to what you're doing. You need to study it a bit. And if you need to study it a little longer, then do it. If you need to set it up in a tank and watch it for a day or two, do that. I've been doing this since I was a kid. So I have a kind of an automatic response to clean, healthy water. When I see it, I know it, I take it, I use it. I never have a problem with it. But by the same token, I don't take water out of a body that has any kind of thing that makes me uncomfortable. That is smelly or discolored or has a slime on it, or where the plants are dying or the fish are floating or there's dead fish laying on the bank. Nothing like that. I don't take anything out of a body of water like that, because you're just asking for trouble. But
Right.
by and large, nature preserves itself. and maintains healthy environments. Don't assume that because something is wild, it's sick. That's obtuse. That's absurd. That's ridiculous. Nature is not of and by itself sick. Nature is not naturally polluted. The natural environment is naturally wholesome and healthy. So you want to make sure that's true, and 90% of the time it's going to be true. Do not panic about taking anything out of the wild. If you need to study it for a while, by all means do so. But don't be afraid to do it. It will bless your tank. It will improve the diversity of your little biosphere. It'll make it a far more desirable, far more alive, far more animated system than you would otherwise have. Is that enough?
I think that was a good one.
Good. Great.
Good morning, Chief. Good morning, Vanessa.
We need to save that one. Let's get that one. Let's get that one.
Yes, Vajachan. Great rant, Father Fish.
Really, Naresh, if you're there, tag that and set it up.
Good morning, Tree 77. I have 3 schools. Ornate, Bubble, and Priscilla Tetris. 20
Thanks, Paul.
Too many, like. If not, can I add a school of embers? Okay, so they have.
We need to. I've been
50.
promising myself I need to do this. I need to get the timestamp. I need to get the time. I can't do it.
Just get it close, and then you can go back and figure it out after that.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can get it close here.
So proud of himself. Do you see that? He's just so proud of himself for that rant.
I've been turning the video going. What is this? It's a backwards.
Anyway.
Naresh, you need to be there. If you're not there, I'm going to stalk you.
Well, they were in here, so I'm assuming he's still in here.
I hope he's still here. Try to capture.
Wyoming, thank you for coming in. Nice to see you here. Have a great day. So 277 has got a bunch of tetras. Looks like they have about 20 or 15 tetras in a 20-gallon tank, and they want to add some ember tetras. If you don't think that that 15 bubble and Priscilla tetras are too many already, you think they could add more. They really want to. He can't pay attention to me because he's so preoccupied with the timestamp. I could probably say anything I wanted to right now, and he wouldn't know.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
You're not.
Sending a note to Naresh on Discord.
Good morning, George.
Run a pump straight to the house. That's what I did. That's what I have to heat it. Don't need to heat it. Don't need to heat it. It'll warm up quick enough.
See, Tree 77, James is getting some good advice.
DJ wants to know what is a fun fish to breed. You know what the most fun fish to breed is? Here we go. Angels.
I say the fish you like.
Well, but angels are an absolute kick to breed. Let me show you my angels. Look at that.
Well, I mean, I've bred plenty of angels. Oh, they're coloring up. They're way more colorful than they were the first day.
Isn't that nice? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really getting good. Even the albinos. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that sucker. Now,
Yep.
here's the problem. These are fish that are way too big to ever spawn. And I'm thinking they're probably all males. Yep.
So
They're
they're
all
they're old breeding stock, you think?
they're all three males. So they're
Okay.
pretty fish, but they're worthless as a breeding population. Okay, here's something. Look at this. Look at this middle fish. See if I can get around. He's turning the wrong way. Come on, come back over here.
Oh, they never cooperate. They always look the wrong way.
Right,
If one
all right,
side's nicer, they'll always show you the other side, you know.
right. What do you see on this fish?
What, see on it?
Where'd he go?
Hold
There he
on.
is.
I'm going to look on my bigger screen, but I got to wait. Oh, this one's buffering.
He's, I'll
I
give
will.
you a clue. He's turned the wrong way.
Of course, that's what I said. They always turn the wrong way. Why
Now
would
he's
they?
all the way to the back. He's not letting us watch him. He has a spot on his left pectoral fin, right at the top of it. I don't know if you can see it.
All right, I'm on a bigger screen. I don't know if I can see it.
It's right there. See it?
Yeah, it's like a little, yeah.
A little like a damage, but it could be fungus.
Yeah.
So I got to keep an eye on that as well.
Yeah, they've got something up there. Well,
There's something on it. See it? Yeah.
Jean's asking if it's ick.
No, it's not it. Look on the edge of the fin. You see
I mean,
that little
it could be
tiny spot?
some kind of fungus, or it could just be damage. You're right, it could be damage.
Right.
But
Or
yeah,
just-
the only thing you can do is watch it. Sure.
See that right there? Good shot of it.
Yep.
See
Oh
it
yeah.
moving?
Yeah.
Now, when you
Yeah, I
see
was just
something like that, don't do anything about it because you don't know what it is. But keep an eye on it and see what it does. If it's damaged, it will heal and disappear. If
Yeah.
it's fungus, it will get worse. If it begins to get worse, then you need to figure out what to do about it. Right, there is that, and that's all we know, David. There's something on his fin.
Right. So you just
Yeah.
watch it, observe.
Gene saw it, saw the spot on his fin. Right.
So James is giving good advice about the tetras. You know, go slow, add a little group, watch your water quality, and make sure your bio load.
A California trio worked on that call. Right, there it is. So that's
Yeah.
Southern California.
Yes.
A San Francisco trio, right?
Okay. And we're done. Lev says fungus, cover it with sand.
Right, absolutely. Little
Oh, why not? Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Put that sand on. Why not? Little sand never
million days, right?
That'll rub right off. That'll go right.
Turn up the Mr. Beast, turn up the heat, and add more sand. That always works.
I mean,
How
it's
do
not a
you
bad
know?
idea. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Okay,
who
so
is-
Gene's asking you how you know they're males. Yeah.
all right, we're going to take a look. The
Yes,
simplest way with older
Okay.
fish, look at the forehead. Look at the area right above the mouth.
Yeah.
And you will see that it is notched on all three of them. The one in back, less so, perhaps. The other two, it's a little hard to see because he's got a spot right where the notch would be. But there's a good example of it. See the way it's notched? Now look at this. No notch. Straight and narrow. Another one.
Right, the males tend to have forehead.
The albinos are younger, so they may not, you may not be able to tell yet, but with a mature fish, a mature angel, there is an obvious notch in the forehead. You could see it on that one pretty plainly. See it on that one. That's the easiest way to tell. And it's pretty foolproof. With a fish like this, it's a little harder to see because the pattern kind of gets in the way and breaks
Well,
it up.
that can happen. Yeah, kind of distort your line. Yeah, absolutely. So George Aquaballs is asking, Father Fish, my angel pairs lip lock every now and then. Is that okay behavior?
Yeah, that's generally pair bonding behavior.
Right. They're kind of just
Andy
maybe
changed his name to fungus fish.
That's going to change his name to fungus fish. Well, I bet you'll get a lot of friends that way.
He'll just have him knocking at the door, won't he?
Right. Yep.
How do you know what gender the fish thinks he is? Well, you don't. We're done that. You make assumptions. That fish
And,
don't
you
get
know,
nearly as confused as people about things like sexuality.
they know. They just know.
Yeah,
They just know.
it's genetic, if you will.
Yeah. Product I'm saying best to look at the vent. I mean, yes, if you want to get that serious about it, you can do that.
And the thing about the vent is, unless they're in breeding dress, the vent's not going to show you anything.
I just like to go the old-fashioned route, as Father said. I will buy 6 angelfish, 8 angelfish, let them grow up together, let them pair off. I just let them do their thing. I will say the hump on the forehead is pretty telling. Once in a while, they can fool you. Once in a while, you'll get a female that looks like a male, but in turn is a female. And the other thing that will fool you when you're in groups like that is females will pair off and spawn. And you'll think, oh, I've got this pair and it's so great. And you'll put them in their own tank and you just look and they're spawning. And of course, the eggs never hatch. And one day you look a little closer and you realize, oh, they're both laying eggs. That's why I'll never get any babies.
Right.
And I've had it happen to me. It's happened.
Yeah.
We all get fooled.
I've had 2 females breed with 1 male.
Yes.
I've had trios like that have produced viable eggs.
Yep. No, I have a.
Yeah, Kim's saying the same thing. A mated trio.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have seen it. I've never actually tried to keep any babies from that.
Generally, they'll be in 2 different spots, but I've seen them. The females actually lay eggs in the same spot.
Right.
And James has a pair of gay angels. Well, that's
what we're talking about. Those females. I've never seen 2 males spawning.
Aquatic Thumbs because they don't want to upset their Jewish mother. Really.
Oh, funny.
Madness.
Do guppies need a heater? Yeah, in my opinion, they do because they need to be kept warmer than room temperature. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea. No, I don't have heaters in any of my tanks. I've started them out cold. They were down when I set them up about 60 degrees. But I didn't have any fish in there I was concerned about.
Yeah.
And they're now hardened up. So temperature now is up in the mid 70s. I've had no disease at all. I did lose, there's a problem. I did lose a couple of fish early on. Let's take a look at this.
Good morning, Duco.
Got my cord is all twisted up here. What in God's name?
them, George, but it's probably similar behavior, breeding behavior if they're lip locking.
Hey.
A pair of males, yeah, they're just probably sloppy.
Okay.
I didn't
What do
read
you
that right.
do? You see this? I don't know if we can see him.
You're always asking me that. Can I see this?
Probably can't. It's not gonna be.
Well, tell me what I'm looking at. I might have a better
Look
chance.
at a fish with clamped fins.
Well,
Can't. It's
no.
he's hiding. He's right in front of a dark object, and he's dark. There he is, coming up a little bit. He
All
ain't
right.
cooperating at all.
So it's got clamped fins. It's unhappy.
Right.
So is it unhappy because of the water, or is that fish chasing it? The one
I don't
that's
know. You know, he's
around.
darting around.
Yeah, I'm suspicious of that fish.
Yeah, see it right there.
You got the Sasquatch camera work's killing me. Hold still.
I got a lot of convicts in here.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
He's
I thought you
playing-
didn't like convicts.
I don't. I hate him. Here he comes.
I mean, I keep them because I like them, but you're going to say how you like them, and you got a whole tank of them?
I know. It just sort of happened that way.
Well,
You know,
I
kept the fish nobody wanted.
there you go. Somebody's got to give them a home. I actually like mine, but I know you don't like yours. What's the minimum tank size for angels? Duco asks.
So what?
Duco is asking, what's the minimum tank size for angels?
A 20 tall, I would
I was just going to
suggest.
say, I wouldn't go any smaller than a 20 high. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do a 10.
No,
A
Chris
little
Pratt.
one maybe, but you know, they get big. It's not a
Yeah.
little tiny fish.
Yeah. Chris Trapp, no, albino cories are not blind.
They get big. It's not a little tiny fish.
Red eye, but not blind.
I need to take a 1-minute break, can I?
Okay. Good morning, Bateson. Didn't see you come in. I'm sure there's lots of people that have snuck in here. So suspicious. That's funny. Bateson. Oh yeah, James, if you're referring to the forehead thing on the angels, yeah. And I agree, it's true. I would say, 90-95% of the time it's pretty accurate. You can pick them that way. But I've had some pretty, I guess I would say, masculine-looking females, and they will fool you. And that's what happened. I've had two, what I thought were pairs pair off, and one of those females looked like a male. All the characteristics with the angelfish, and they were, spawning and doing all the things, but they were two females, so they can fool you. And well, yeah, I agree, James. Sometimes I keep mine when they're breeding in a smaller tank. Yep. Good morning, fish and salt, fresh and salt fishing. That is so hard to say. Good morning. It's a tongue twister. Well, yes, ADP. Some can be devilfish. Some are. I think every once in a while you get a group and you'll get that one that's just, and they start young. They'll be like the size of, not even a 50-cent piece, and you can see them. That dorsal's upright, and they're just going around and biting everybody. Never kept angels fish. I mean, they're not for everybody. And they're not, I mean, one in the community tank will work, but, you know, typically if you get a bunch of angelfish going in a tank and between them, you know, sparring and pairing off and then them picking on other fish, sometimes it's not fun to watch. You had an Oscar for a year and now he's 7 inches. Yeah, that's the thing about Oscars. They grow really fast, and if they're in a small tank, you're going to need an upgrade in a short amount of time.
James says he's keeping a breeding pair of angels in a 10-gallon. You can do it. You certainly can do it.
Yeah. Oh no, I just said, yeah, I keep sometimes my breeding pairs in smaller tanks. Sure, not necessarily forever, but for breeding purposes, absolutely on my end. Duco, Joey, what do you think about ADA height and all those CO2 injections in aquasoil? Well, I'm not as much of an expert on it as Father Fish, but my opinion is you don't need it. Just do Father Fish's method. You do the dirted tank and the deep substrate. I don't think you need to spend all the money on that. And that's your thing. What do you say, Father Fish?
Right. I agree with Joey.
I mean, you know, do whatever you want. You want to spend the money and you want to do it. It's the fish world's a free world. You do anything any way you want to, but I think you can get the same result for less money. And then, as Father Fish says, you know, if you start doing that sort of thing for your plants, they count on it. And then when you take it away, the tank will crash, the plants will, you know, will suffer, and it doesn't take long and it won't look as good. So you're better off to do it the other way and let the tank develop. And you'll have something that's great long term that you don't have to mess with. That's my opinion.
Yeah, Reese raised an interesting issue. He said he had some angels start to pick off tetras. They get big enough, they will do that.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely will, and they'll wait until they're just big enough to be able to start eating tetras, and then the tetras will start disappearing. Every day it'll be a fewer until there are none left.
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, the name angelfish can be deceiving. I know my niece had bought a male from me. She bought 3, actually she had 3 of my angels, and then she had a female that she had purchased elsewhere. And they were in a 90-gallon tank, and pretty much overnight when they decided to pair off, that male killed the other 2 males in 24 hours. Just before she could even, like, hey, can I bring you these fish? It was sort of like they were just dead. He got that crazy, got that aggressive. And that was a 90-gallon tank. So in theory, you know, maybe they could have gotten away and gotten to a spot where they could have survived 24 hours. Not even. He just annihilated them.
Well, the thing is, a lot of fish, particularly male fish of a given species, will not try to avoid conflict. They will seek out conflict. And they'll do it to a point where one of them is so badly injured that they don't survive it. But it's the way they naturally function.
No, I agree. You're right. It's sort of like game on and go till it's ended, till somebody wins out. You know, unfortunately, till somebody dies. You know.
Yeah.
Good morning, Kenny.
Fight until you die, right? Or have the victory.
They fight till the death. A lot of these fish.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's not. We don't like to watch it, but it is nature. We don't like to see our pretty fish get killed by the other fish. That's why I say in one of my videos, there's nothing that creates any more anxiety in your life than when your fish are fighting. It's true. That's why I like my goldfish.
79 watching 79 minutes ago, and there's 69 thumbs up and 2
Well,
thumbs down.
hey, that's the usual.
We know where one of them came from, don't we?
Yeah, that's all right. Whatever.
Really?
They had some thought process to hit the thumbs down button. So yeah. And these fish are at it again today. It's a different female, and they're spawning again in there. They're making the tank kind of cloudy though. Eventually, I'll have to do a water change, clear that up a little bit. Oh, Holly, you are lucky. And you know what? Don't change anything. Don't take one out. Don't add one. If you got a group and they're not fighting, don't mess with it. But everybody always wants to add another one, and that creates chaos. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're lucky. Stick with it. Yep. Well, Andy, you never know who gives you the thumbs down, but that's such is life.
Word Dunlap says loaches are sissies. Yeah, all right. Word Dunlap is talking about coolie loaches. He says my coolie loaches and snails fight, and the coolie loaches are sissies.
Well, the coolie's trying to eat the snail, but hey, if the snail's winning out, that's amazing.
That's a new one on me.
Yeah, that's fun. You should get, if that's truly happening, try to get a little, video of that.
Yeah, I would. Absolutely.
That would be awesome to see. You can
Yeah.
make a great video from that. Amber, good morning, Amber. I have a breeding pair of angels that are jerks. Yeah, and put them in an emergency separator tank. Yeah, from a bed on Neon Tetris. Yep, absolutely. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yep.
That's exactly it. Donald Drew is saying Airwolf. Is Airwolf in here?
No, that's a good guess.
Airwolf, one of the thumbs down. Sure.
Thumbs down, yeah, that's a good guess.
Sure. Or whoever else says
There's so many other candidates for that office.
Yeah, somebody that doesn't like us today. Oh, well. Oh, Kim, you have 3 ropefish coming next week? Awesome. Going to a heavily planted tank. Okay. I don't know if you've ever had them before, but just be careful because they're good at escaping. Be careful of that if you haven't had them
Keep a
before.
lid on it.
And they really need to have a little area where they can get out of the water. They really like to come up out of the water and go back in. If you can do that, give them some kind of a little island or shelf or something that they can get up on.
Huh.
Good morning, Jeffrey. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that. I've never really had them
That's why
very
they
much.
always are trying to get out of the tank. They like to come up onto the ground, basically, and go around and then go back in. They like to get out of the water. Not
The
long
rabbits
term,
don't eat plants. I do not believe that rabbit snails eat plants. I've not found it to be so. They're a really fabulous cleaner, though. And mine all disappeared. I'm going to have to get some more.
Oh, yeah. Kim, that's perfect. Good job. You're all prepared for them. I hope that they come in
Nice.
in great shape and that you have fun with them.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how aggressive they are to, small fish. They got sort of a trapdoor mouth.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Ropefish. They get, I imagine they would eat what they could get a hold of. Good morning, Big J. Good morning. I've never attempted to keep them because I don't like snakes, and I had them in my store once, and they freaked me out. But I do know about them.
Huh.
Freaked me out because they came around the corner and it came up at me like a snake, and I'm like, okay, we're done.
Oh my! Wow.
I died. I got some air. I don't know. I probably got a couple feet on that one. I went straight up. Scared me. I wasn't expecting that. That's how I learned that you got to cover it. They're escape artists.
Well, she was young and foolish at the time. She's a more mature woman today, and ain't scared.
No. Yeah,
Nothing.
but no, I am jumpy. I am jumpy. Like if somebody comes around the corner and I'm not expecting them, it's like I still go, woo.
Don't know about rabbit snails breeding, Duco.
Good morning, Captain Spicy's here. Captain Spicy.
Captain Spicy. Hello, Captain Spicy.
Yeah.
Wonder who he is.
Good morning, Lori. I don't know if you've been in here or you just got here. Good morning. Yes, Chevy, you are right. Eyeball Aquatics has some great information on ropefish. Haley's an expert, no doubt. And and primarily because she loves them, and she spent hours observing and researching, and that's
Yeah, exactly right.
That's when you love something, you become an expert on it.
Yeah.
She moved from Florida to Arizona.
Kim moved to Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, to Arizona with a couple of big snakes. Really big snakes.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. So Andy W says, I noticed something strange last night. 3 or 4 cardinal tetras picking on a leopard danio. Bully, never seen that before. I've never seen that before either. Maybe the danio's kind of declining a little bit.
I don't know. He probably started something he couldn't finish.
Well, yeah, that or he's just, weakening in there, taking advantage.
Yeah, that's right.
Starting to decline, and I mean that's what fish do. The weaker link, if there's weak fish, they all start picking on it.
Anybody who's ever raised Anybody who's ever raised chickens knows about the weakest link.
Knows about the pecking order, yeah.
That's right.
Amber Gruba, good morning. How often do you feed pea puffers?
Somebody was talking about
with a father fish substrate. So if she has a father fish substrate, how often would she feed her pea puffers? Yeah,
that came up earlier, and I was noticing it, thinking about it. If you have an enriched substrate with a lot of life in it, then they're going to be able to pick. They're tiny enough to find microscopic food to eat. A little tiny shrimp, other tiny things that you might otherwise miss. So it's a good example of a fish that you want to have a very rich substrate with or environment. And the best way to do that is to try to get a mulming environment. You can do it with chopped up leaves, little tiny twigs, that sort of thing that makes for a rough bottom sitting on top of the sand. That'll create an environment in which slightly larger infusoria will like scuds will be able to grow. Scuds are a perfect example. Excuse me. Scuds are an animal that pygmy puffers are going to look for to eat. So if you can provide an environment that has natural food in it like that, you will need to feed far less. And that ought to be your goal. If you've got a lot of little tiny fish, try to find ways to really encourage that larger infusoria. And you do it. We haven't done much with this. these new tanks I'm setting up are going to have more of that kind of environment where they should have a lot more natural bugs and critters living in them. We'll see if we can get a little microscope lens going and try to find a way to look at that.
Good morning, Evo. I was just laughing at words on like get a snail to protect your daddy. Those killer snails. And yeah, Captain Spicy. I mean, I'm a fan of Mulm. I know Father Fish is. My breeding tanks, a lot of them are full of Mulm.
I do not necessarily see the importance of moving peat puffers to brackish water if you have hard alkaline water, because it really amounts to the same thing. There's no effective difference between hard alkaline water and brackish water.
Yeah. Well, Chevy Fish, you be careful driving and typing and all that.
Is she in the car?
Yes. It's like,
Yeah,
you be careful.
She's trying to get her laptop in town to get it worked on.
Yeah. Oh, somebody was saying, I missed it. They said they were trying to acclimate their trying to acclimate coolie lotion that jumped out of the bag. Yeah. Floated bag with coolie. Yep. They're sneaky little things. They're like little snakes. Like those rope fish. They can get things.
All right, we're at 10:30, so we draw a line in the sand here.
Sure.
Today is Friday.
Jeffrey, I have neons picking on other fish, including angels. You got some killer neons?
Killer neon. There's a trick.
Yeah, that's
tomorrow at 6 in the evening. We'll be here at 6 in the evening tomorrow, and also on Sunday, and then Monday we'll be back at 9 a.m.
Yes.
If you've got certain things you'd like to share, tanks or stories or whatever, Saturday and Sunday are set aside specifically for that to be able to share. So feel free to come up and do so. If you have not checked out Discord, do so. It's a lot of fun. And I know you'll enjoy it. If you would like to purchase a mug, that we're going to be packaging them today, so they'll be in the mail by this weekend. Here's a Fatherfish mug. You can get it on PayPal, fatherfish@fatherfish.net for $25. Shipping included. So nice to have you all here.
Yes.
And we will see you tomorrow evening.
Okay, Chevy was a passenger. That's good. Sorry.
Oh, all right.
Anyway, yes, we will see everyone tomorrow. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
And thank you, everyone in the shoal, for coming in and being with us and asking questions. And thank you, Chevy, for greeting and modding and all things while you're riding in the car. And it was fun. And, make yourself a fish pizza if you got some extra fish, I guess, right?
Right. We do always have fun here, don't we?
We try.
We try. All right, let's get another strike. Every time I play this song, I get
another strike.
You
said you get a strike every time you play any song.
Yeah, pretty much.
You said pretty much every song gets a strike.